Good evening, I'm Camelia and this is KiniNews. A second sinkhole has appeared on Jalan Masjid India just 50 meters from the first one. The latest incident was reported to have occurred at 2:30 a.m. today.
Another sinkhole has been reported on Jalan Masjid India in Kuala Lumpur. The sinkhole is around 50 meters from where the ground suddenly collapsed on Friday. Bernama reported that the latest incident is said to have occurred at around 2:30 a.m. today, believed due to the heavy rain and storm from last night. It was reported that the security team at the location has cordoned off the sinkhole area to prevent untoward incidents. Police said discussions are underway to extend the public road closure, with further updates to be provided later. In last Friday's incident, a tourist from India fell into an 8-meter deep hole and disappeared. The search and rescue operation is still ongoing.
The sinkhole area had been cordoned off as a safety measure and the road has been closed to vehicles. We spoke to several workers in the area about their views on the incident.
Jalan Masjid India has been closed to all vehicles following the occurrence of a second sinkhole in the area. According to Bernama, pedestrians, however, are still allowed to pass through the part of the road that is not affected, while the surrounding shops are still open as usual. Earlier it was reported that the sinkhole area had also been cordoned off using safety tape and a water barrier as a safety measure. Kinitv spoke to workers in the area to get their views on the incident.
Perasaan saya sekarang ni berasa takut dan cemas. Ini rakyat pun takut dah masuk kawasan Masjid India. Cakap aja Masjid India dah macam fobia dah sebab kata tak safe. Ini harap-harap mangsa dapat dijumpai dengan cepat. Dengan pihak kerajaan pun mengambil tindakan sewajarnya membaik pulih jalan raya yang baru untuk safety rakyat lah.
Sekarang ni takut betul-betul takut sebab kita punya tu macam tergadai nyawa kita. Sejak kita berpijak dengan kita tempat ni pun macam tergadai nyawa kita untuk nak datang sini. Tapi disebabkan kita mencari rezeki kat sini, terpaksalah kita nak datang juga. Tapi kita hanya banyak-banyak berdoa lah. Semoga Allah lindungi kita dengan segala musibah yang akan terjadi. Sebab sekarang ni memang semuanya tempat kawasan ni kan berlubang kat bawah tu. So memang takut sungguh lah.
According to them, the public had also avoided coming to the area. They said they faced difficulties and hoped that the government would be able to solve the issue of sinkholes in the area as soon as possible.
Ikutkan saya kerja kedai mas ni, pelanggan kita yang selalu kerap ada Jumaat, Sabtu, Ahad memang ramai pelanggan lah. Ni pelanggan pun jarang masuk sebab dah takut perniagaan pun merosot. Jadi macam majikan semua berasa risau lah sebab perniagaan merosot, kena bayar sewa, kena bayar gaji pekerja, bil elektrik, api semua ada kan. Ini menjejaskan untuk majikan lah.
Kekurangannya 50%. Dulu kita ada nampak lagi ramai punya warga asing mengunjungi dekat kawasan ni, tapi sejak dengan terjadi yang tragedi macam tu, kita tak nampak apa pun warga asing lagi dah. Yang hanya nampak yang semua yang bekerja kawasan sini saja. So tu kita punya perniagaan ni pun merosot 50% daripada yang sebelum ni. Saya haraplah kerajaan pun ambil juga dengan kita punya ni yang peniaga-peniaga kecil-kecilan ni, harap dia orang dapat membantu kita juga dengan keselamatan kita pun harap-haraplah dapat dijamin yang dia orang dapat baiki dengan eloklah yang yang tempat-tempat laluan sini bagi konkret. Kalau sebelum ni tak konkret, at least buatlah yang terbaiklah supaya kita punya juga tu pelancong pun boleh keselamatan dengan dia orang juga. Dia orang akan mengunjungi lagi negara kita ni.
Putrajaya is not behind the Sedition Act charges against former Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin. Fahmi Fadzil said this today in response to claims and criticisms against the government over the matter.
Government spokesperson Fahmi Fadzil has responded to criticisms against the federal government for allegedly using the Sedition Act, a draconian law from the British colonial era, against its political adversary. In a press conference today, he stressed that the government was not behind Sedition Act charges against PN leaders, including former Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin.
Jadi pihak kerajaan tidak masuk campur dalam hal ini. Siasatan dilakukan oleh pihak PDRM dan pendakwaan dibuat berdasarkan siasatan tersebut. Pihak kerajaan tidak terlibat. Ada tomahan dan dakwaan. Yang penting diingatkan di sini adalah laporan polis yang asal itu adalah dari Istana Pahang. Sama seperti kes hasutan yang dikenakan terhadap Menteri Besar Kedah, yang mana laporan polis telah dibuat oleh wakil dari Istana Selangor.
He added that the royals have no avenue to debate and defend themselves, unlike politicians, MPs, and members of the public. He said the position of the government was that they must ensure not only the sovereignty of the royal institution, but also that it is defended.
Before we move on, if you'd like access to news like this and more, consider supporting us and donate to Kinitv by scanning the QR code on the screen. A former aide to Muhyiddin Yassin has claimed that the Sedition Act was among one of the laws being reviewed when Muhyiddin was Home Minister. Marzuki Muhammad said this while commenting on the sedition charge against his former boss.
Marzuki Muhammad, a former aide to Muhyiddin Yassin, has claimed that when his former boss was the Home Minister, he was part of a committee that was reviewing oppressive legislation. Marzuki said he was part of the committee, which consisted of the Attorney General's chambers, Malaysian Bar, representatives from NGOs, and others. In a post on Facebook, he said 6 laws were in the process of being reviewed, and the Sedition Act was one of them. According to Marzuki, there was a moratorium with regard to invoking these laws pending the review. Marzuki said this following the sedition charge against Muhyiddin. He recalled how Pakatan Harapan leaders rolled on the streets to oppose the Sedition Act, which was termed as draconian and cruel. He also questioned why they were not saying anything about it now. Commenting on Muhyiddin's charge under the Sedition Act, he said the Perikatan Nasional chairperson had merely raised a question related to the Constitution. Marzuki said it is a valid question, but he was charged under the Sedition Act and questioned who is cruel. Yesterday, Muhyiddin was charged under Section 4(1)(b) of the Sedition Act. This was over his speech during the campaign for the Nenggiri state by-election in Kelantan recently.
PAS said they will be weighing the pros and cons of joining the federal government. Hashim Jassin said this while admitting that there were invitations made for them to join the government.
PAS spiritual leader Hashim Jassin has admitted that there are efforts from certain parties to invite them to join Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim's government. According to a report in Utusan, he said PAS will have to weigh the pros and cons of joining the federal government. However, he did not disclose who had made the invitation. He said that the matter was also raised in the Islamist Party's Ulama Council, but that it was only briefly discussed, and there has not been any final decisions about it. He was quoted as saying that they need to study and see the good and bad, and whether there is DAP and so on in the cooperation within the government. He added that the matter will be looked into before any decision is made. Previously, PAS senior leaders had publicly rejected the idea of joining the government. At last year's PAS annual assembly, Party President Abdul Hadi Awang rejected the idea, denouncing the Madani government as being full of prisoners, corrupt people, and a court cluster.
Ashraf Wajdi Dusuki said all Unity Government Party machineries will be activated for the Makota by-election. The decision was made at a Unity Government meeting yesterday.
The machineries of all component parties in the Unity Government will be fully activated during the Makota State by-election in Johor. This is according to Unity Government Secretariat Chief Ashraf Wajdi Dusuki. He said the matter was decided at the Unity Government Leadership Consultative Council meeting yesterday. In a statement, Ashraf said the meeting fully supported a Barisan national candidate to represent the Unity Government for the Makota by-election. He added that the candidate will be named by the coalition central leadership soon. He also shared that the meeting acknowledged the structure of the Unity Government's machineries for the by-election, with the appointment of Johor Menteri Besar On Hafiz Ghazi as the by-election director and Aminul Huda Hassan as the Pakatan Harapan machinery coordinator. Ashraf added that they also took issues of race, religion, royalty seriously and stressed their loyalty and willingness to defend the sovereignty and status of the Malay rulers as enshrined in the federal constitution.
That is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to kinitv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'm Camelia. Thanks for watching.